I was off to Europe one summer, and my dad said, "Here, take this with you." And it was an old Rolleiflex. I didn't know which end of the camera the film went in. And one thing led to another. When I went back to school, I switched my major from painting to film and photography. And I think I stayed in class for about 6 months, 6 months worth of classes. And I met a guy who was a former news cameraman. And he had a studio, and he was shooting some fashion work. What I didn't bargain for were 18-hour days, heart attack causing stress, insomnia, poor eating habits. There's only so long you can burn the candle at both ends, and I figured that out after a couple of years. I knew somebody was retiring at a hospital, and they needed to replace him. So I spent a summer and half of a winter hanging out with medical students, going to classes with them at University of Pennsylvania. And I spent hours in the dissecting lab and the anatomy labs, and I learned anatomy. I then got the job and ended up working as a medical photographer in 3 major hospitals, jockeying myself, and that went on for about 10 years until, again, enough. Then I went off into the jungle. Prior to this, I was, you won't believe it, I was shooting medical relief missions. I'd gotten involved with a medical mission to Belize back in 1997. And I was then working for a newspaper, getting my photojournalistic chops. Storytelling is great. It's a lot of fun, but it's very time-consuming, and it lacks spontaneity. It's canned, it's planned. I was looking for something a little more spontaneous. That magical moment that just happens. It's there for 8 seconds and then it's gone. It's that ephemeral, magical, decisive moment. It actually does occur. I mean, it's real. It's not just a lot of hooey. So when you're in the right place and all these elements come together, it's astounding. It's a very, very satisfying and enlightening experience. And there's a Zen aspect to it, where everything is perfectly still, and every image is a meditation, is a world in and of itself. The digital workflow seems to dovetail well with my general sensorium as an artist. I tend towards graphic, almost abstract compositions. I see things in frames, and I am aware of abstract relationships. Planes, I like extreme contrasts in these abstract images. I can do things digitally that I couldn't dream of doing in the darkroom, for starters. But with all of those tools at my disposal, and what we're talking about is really an infinite number of combinations, I still come back to the basics. I find myself using very, very high-tech software equipment, but my techniques are analog. Burning, dodging. I once had a studio right around the corner, and I spent a lot of time in this neighborhood, and we walked by, and I see Walt Girdner Studio Gallery. This is new. Never seen this before. What is this? They were closed because it was late at night, but I came back the next day, and it was like finding a home. Here are people, Min Tai and the owners of the gallery have managed to put together a showcase that's a little different than your average run-of-the-mill photo gallery, of which Los Angeles is crawling with them. I liked their approach. I liked how they treat artists. There's a depth of knowledge that facilitates instant communication. When I showed Min my work, he got it. He understood. There were no words necessary. He got it. I knew he got it. We were on the same page. From what I've seen of the other artists that they represent, that's the way they operate. They speak the language. This is a wonderful place, and I hope they're here for a very, very, very long time. I love the space. We'll see what happens at my opening. We'll see how good the food is.